Camcorder drama review for you. Hey man, welcome to Camcorder Drama, a drama review show shot and filmed with a camcorder. This is Nicholas Villars, aka Super Divorce, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most recent Comicsgate drama unfolding, the latest scheme, the latest scam, the latest scandal. And it starts with this video right here that was titled Douglas Ernst and Iconic Comics Ironic Gay Ops Exposed from Comic Book Hut. Who's that, you might wonder? This video is to bring you up to speed if you don't know what's going on. Who's Comic Book Hut? This man right here. This is Comic Book Hut. Started out as a CG commentator aligned with Comicsgate and the Comicsgate principles and the Comicsgate creators and commentators. Ethan Van Sciver said this man was kind of like a Comicsgate Mark Levin when he first burst onto the scene. A Hamburglar-esque Mark Levin commenting on comic books. Mark Levin, the right-wing commentator, pundit, radio, talk show host, author, and so on and so forth. You know, kind of New York guy with a high nasally voice, you know, and he kind of ranting and raving. And that's kind of what Comic Book Hut was doing originally. And then over time, some things happened. He turned on CG. He became anti-CG. We're just going to try to zip through this. We're not doing a deep dive here. This is just to bring you up to speed. Comic Book Hut started making videos against Comicsgate creators, disparaging them, disparaging the movement or the network, whatever the hell you want to call it. And that's what Comic Book Hut has been up to for the past 2-3 years or so. Not a friend of Comicsgate by any means. The other major player in this story is Douglas Ernst. Started out gaining some notoriety back in these sort of proto Comicsgate days, arguing a lot with Dan Slott, taking him to task for his poor customer service, for his gatekeeping, not the good gatekeeping that keeps bad actors out of your hobby, but the kind of gatekeeping that, you know, tries to shove out anyone who doesn't think and feel the way that you do. And that's not a good way for creators to behave, in my opinion. If you're a comic book creator, if you're a musician, if you're any sort of creative type, if you're making a product, I think you want that product to appeal to as many people as possible, and you want as many people as possible to be able to enjoy whatever it is you create. You don't want to say things like, if you're a conservative, then go fuck yourself. I don't want you to read my books. Some people will actually take you up on that, just like I did with Dan Slott. I said, oh, he doesn't want me to read his comics anymore? Okay, no problem. These guys think that no one's going to call them on their bluff. They think people are addicted to their content. Well, guess what, Dan Slott? There's a lot out there for people to enjoy, and I haven't bought a single Dan Slott issue of anything since he kind of went crazy and made that proclamation. No problem, buddy. Anyway, Douglas Ernst here used to do battle with Dan Slott. He was kind of in the mix with the OG CG, as people like to say, and over time kind of drifted away from the Comicsgate moniker. He has tried to champion himself and brand himself as one of these drama-free types. I think he's tried to present this image that he's above all that. And Comicsgate is riddled with drama and infighting and pettiness, and he just had to step away from it because he's a stoic man with no time for such pettiness. And he's keeping focused on his work. There's no time for petty squabbling and focusing on what other people are up to when there's work to be done. And that's kind of where Douglas Ernst has landed over time. So you know who the two major players are. Okay, so recently, Comic Book Hut, Comic Book Hut, he went ahead and decided to start, crowdfunding his own comic book called Captain Galaxy in the Dawning. And there's his Kickstarter page for it. When he launched this, he said, you know what, I've kind of been buddies with Douglas Ernst and his crowd these past few years. I've done glowing reviews of their books, people from Iconic Comics, which is not necessarily a comic book publisher or imprint. Not really like Marvel or DC. Iconic Comics, it's come out, they want to be known as a shipping company. I didn't realize this until I just saw Tim Lim from Iconic Comics, one of the creators of Common America. They want to be known as a shipping company. Thought that was interesting. Anyway, Comic Book Hut went to Douglas Ernst and he said, hey, I would really appreciate it if you would sort of plug my book a bit, and maybe you can get me on a stream with Tim Lim, with the Iconic Comics crew, and you guys can maybe pump my book up a little bit, help a brother out, because I've given you guys these reviews, and I've always had your back over the years. Maybe you can just give me a little signal boost, and Douglas Ernst kind of looked at him with this face, I think. Like, no, I don't think so. I don't think we can do that. I think he mentioned Comic Book Hut's Kickstarter kind of in passing. Didn't really give it much of a plug. And Comic Book Hut, first of all, kind of took issue with that, and I suppose some words were exchanged between the two of them, and then Douglas Ernst sent Comic Book Hut this message. He said, all I did was be nice to you. Call me when your blank dies if you need money for blank funeral. Also, I hope my script feedback helped. So he was tired of Comic Book Hut getting angry, maybe a little pissy about the way that Douglas Ernst had reacted to his campaign, his refusal to plug it earnestly, his refusal to really, convince Tim Lim to feature it and signal boost it. So Douglas Ernst sent him this message. Now there's a little backstory here. Apparently, sometime in the past, Comic Book Hut's one of his parents passed away, and Douglas Ernst helped pay for the funeral. That's what he is referencing here. I think he's kind of saying, buddy, I gave you that funeral money before, but I guess that wasn't enough for you. Now you want me to plug your book. Well, give me a call when your next parent dies, and I guess I'll send you money for that too. It's kind of that attitude. And, I guess if you're a bigger creator, no one is entitled to your platform. No one's entitled to you plugging their books. And if you've helped someone out like this, like giving them money for a funeral beforehand, then you might look at a guy like Comic Book Hut asking for yet more favors, and you might sympathize with a guy like Douglas Ernst. You might say that Comic Book Hut is being a little bit of a comic book butt He's not being grateful. Douglas Ernst gave him funeral money. That wasn't good enough. Now he also wants Douglas Ernst to signal boost his Kickstarter campaign, as if he's owed that. What makes him think he's owed anything? Why would anyone like Comic Book Hut think that a guy like Douglas Ernst is indebted to him? Here's why. The shocking revelation. After the exchange that you just saw there, well, after this message was sent, this was kind of the last straw for the Comic Book Hut. You see, this message, no, right here, this is what led to the Douglas Ernst and Iconic Comics Ironic Gay Ops Exposed video being posted. The message sent by Doug Ernst referencing the funeral money, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was what led to Comic Book Hut making public what you see right here. And what do you see? You see emails from Douglas Ernst to Comic Book Hut. And in these emails are clips from Ethan Van Sciver and Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, from their YouTube videos. Clips and little edited vignettes sent to Comic Book Hut from Douglas Ernst. For the past 3 years, this has been going on. Douglas Ernst has been working behind the scenes, gathering video footage, and according to Comic Book Hut, even editing some of the clips together. Sending him products that he can then post on his Comic Book Hut YouTube channel in an effort to disparage and drag through the mud the name of Comicsgate and Comicsgate creators. That's what Douglas Ernst, the stoic, no time for drama, straight-laced, good Christian man, Douglas Ernst, that's what he's been doing behind the scenes. And it would have remained behind the scenes had he perhaps boosted this Kickstarter a little bit more, or at the very least not sent this message that really pissed off old Comic Book Hut. So Comic Book Hut made these emails public. He showed everyone, hey guys, you know drama-free Doug Ernst? Here's what he's been up to. He's been sending me drama videos. Shit-talking videos that I can post up on YouTube to make various creators look bad. And as I said, this has gone on for several years. It's not like a one-time deal. Wouldn't be so bad if old Douglas Ernst had not presented himself as the drama-free alternative, the straight-laced guy, the one you can count on to not get involved in horse shit like this. If you want to say drama-free, that's fine. But usually what I've found is the people who feel the need to remind everyone constantly of how drama-free they are usually the ones engaging in not just a little bit of drama, but a lot. As you can see right here, there was a lot going on. Now, while John Delarose and Ethan Van Sciver and some others were live streaming a sort of reaction to the Comic Book Hut video, Tim Lim from Iconic Comics, the shipping company, he went straight to YouTube so that he could kind of get ahead of the story so he could respond to it in real time with this video right here called Controversies and Responses. I listened to this entire thing, and I think that it was fairly rambling, fairly uninformative. There wasn't a whole lot being said here that was really on topic. Yeah, about a half hour of, what would you say, kind of sidestepping and so on and so forth. It wasn't really, I don't think that it really addressed the issue at hand a whole lot. Really, all that Tim had to say, as far as I could tell, directly about this situation was, hey, whatever Doug is doing is kind of his business, and I'll let him respond to it himself. Which, if that's the case, I don't know why Controversies and Responses even needed to be a video in the first place, because there wasn't really a response. This was like it was like one of those deals where Jen Psaki would get asked a question, and then she would kind of flip through her little binder, ramble about something unrelated for 5 minutes, and then move on to the next reporter. That's kind of how this video hit me. So it's not a necessary listen. If you want to, I guess you can go through it and see for yourself. Maybe I missed something, but I don't think I did. I think that I think it was just kind of one of those situations where your buddy's in hot water, and you want to go out and you want to have his back and just let everyone know that you won't be throwing him under the bus. I guess that's what we can glean from this video, is that you weren't going to get a Tim Lim heel turn on Douglas Ernst out of this. That wasn't going to happen. So that was the Tim Lim response, controversy and response. And then there was this posted on Twitter, kind of addressing it just a bit more. Tim Lim said, relating to Douglas Ernst engaging in these backdoor dealings with Comic Book Hut. Ethan Van Sciver has been calling this kind of a situation where Comic Book Hut was used as a proxy by Douglas Ernst to air his own grievances, to criticize other creators without doing it out in the open, without doing it under his own name. That's what Ethan has been saying about Douglas Ernst. Tim Lim responded to that claim, and he said there was no proxy, no quid pro quo. A man on his own, that's Douglas Ernst, wanted to make content. A man on his own, that's referring to Comic Book Hut. Comic Book Hut wanted to make content and accepted publicly clipped videos from a mutual friend, Douglas Ernst. He had the liberty to do with them as he pleased, but there were never any strings attached. Doug would never do a work of conditional charity. So Tim is saying right here, look, Doug may have clipped some of these videos. Maybe he sent them to Comic Book Hut, but he was just doing it just because. There was no sort of grand motive. He wasn't doing it for any reason in particular. He wasn't doing it because he expected Comic Book Hut to use these videos and post them on his YouTube channel. It was just that he clipped the videos and he sent them to a mutual friend. That's all. There was no proxy. Doug did not expect Comic Book Hut to post these and work as his mouthpiece, secret mouthpiece. There was nothing like that. Just two friends exchanging emails. That's all. And then, if you follow the Iconic Comics group, maybe you've wondered what Mark Pellegrini has had to say about all this. Not a whole lot, to be honest. he has not really been in the mix here. I mean, I think the only thing he's really said was in response to Marsupial Gamer's tweet. Marsupial Gamer said, "I'm not sure I've ever seen an Iconic Comics detractor. Has anyone ever criticized them for the quality of their work or the timeliness of their products? I've honestly seen nothing but praise, which is what makes this whole thing seem so bizarre." And Pellegrini responded to that and said, "The Iconic customers are satisfied customers. The detractors seem to all be people who have never bought an Iconic book. So mostly just trolls and super chat drama merchants." Now, I will say, I think this is oversimplifying things just a bit. I've seen quite a few customers, Iconic Comics customers, who have weighed in on this situation, who have posted pictures of their Common America collections, people who have certainly supported Iconic Comics in the past, and are not happy about this. We're not talking about just trolls and super chat drama merchants. We're talking about people, we're talking about customers with actual criticism of how this situation has unfolded and how it's been responded to, and how Douglas Ernst in particular doesn't seem to want to take responsibility for his actions and for engaging in these backdoor dealings that we often refer to as gay ops. So I don't think that this is quite right. I don't think that everyone criticizing Iconic, everyone criticizing Douglas Ernst, you're not dealing with just trolls. You're dealing with many actual paying customers who have a problem with the way that one of your creators at Iconic Comics or Iconic Shipping Company has treated not just Ethan Van Sciver, but Richard C. Meyer, who's done so much praising and so much promotion of Iconic Comics. That's a real head scratcher that Richard C. Meyer would kind of be thrown under the bus and become the target of an Iconic Comics creator. Very strange, very odd. Now, Douglas Ernst, trying to wrap up his time involved with this episode, took to Twitter and he said, "This is one of the last things I will say about this topic. An army of online goons is causing problems for my friends and family. If laws are broken, then I will seriously examine how to hold the appropriate individual accountable for his actions in a court of law." So the army of online goons, of course, being anyone probably who dares criticize how he has acted, anyone who dares criticize his little backdoor scheme, sending videos, supplying videos to Comic Book Hut, and then presenting himself in public as a squeaky clean, stoic philosopher of comic books. That's what people don't like. I mean, the drama-free shit, it gets annoying. It's annoying enough. And I can sympathize. I understand. There's a point it reaches overkill. And then people stop focusing on the books that are coming out. You can go through these phases where no one's discussing the comics, no one's discussing the creators or the content. You're only discussing the sort of behind-the-scenes bullshit going on. And if things lean too far in that direction, that can be destructive, and people do get burnt out, and it does make people kind of want to tune out after a while. I think everyone can acknowledge that. a little drama never hurt anyone. A little drama can be handled, and it can be interesting for a spell, and it's just a natural part of human life. When you present yourself as 100% drama-free, the drama-free alternative, the ones who are just above acting in sort of the silly schoolgirl manner, you know, gossiping and so on and so forth. You're so far above that, you would never do any of that. And then it comes out that you're engaging in that very thing all the while. You look like an asshole. And people are going to have things to say about it. And it doesn't make them an army of online goons, in my estimation. I think that there's a point being made when people criticize this behavior, this kind of two-faced, hypocritical behavior. It's very reminiscent of the shit that Dan Slott did to his fans, that Douglas Ernst used to, that he used to speak out against. The creator refusing to take responsibility for his own actions, and then lumping anyone who dares criticize him into this group of undesirables, of goons, a mindless mob being sent out by Ethan Van Sciver. So it's pretty lame. And here is an email that Douglas Ernst sent to Comic Book Hut, sort of continuing the same theme here. It says, Ethan Van Sciver's army of online goons are now going after our friends and family. I will make sure lawyers are contacted if necessary to hold you accountable moving forward for all the problems you have caused my friends and family by selectively leaking private correspondence so that it can be lied about before an audience of thousands. If clear laws are broken because of you, then I will seriously look into ways to bring legal justice for those your actions have hurt. Leave us alone before lawyers get involved. I'm guessing that means stop commenting on this situation. Don't make any videos about it. Don't say anything on YouTube. Don't get involved on Twitter. Let it go, because I will perhaps be looking at legal action. I don't know if there's any grounds for that. Some people have said that maybe Ethan Van Sciver would have grounds for legal action against Douglas Ernst supplying these disparaging videos and montages to Comic Book Hut. I don't know if there's anything to that either, but I'm just saying, if you're bringing up the legal action thing, then you better be prepared for the people on the other side to come at you as well. And I don't know who's going after Doug Ernst's family or friends. If anyone's doing that, then I obviously wouldn't be on board with that thing either. That's silly as well. You want to get in touch with Douglas Ernst himself, you want to @ him, you want to message him on Twitter, you want to air your grievances, then that's fine. That's what we have these platforms to do. It's one of the beauties of the internet, is we can let the creators that we follow and oftentimes support know when we think they've fucked up. However, again, Doug Ernst doesn't seem to be accepting that people might have an honest problem with what he's done. Anyone who says anything to him online is obviously just an Ethan Van Sciver sent drone with no thoughts or feelings of their own. Just been told how to react. They've been sent out like the monkeys by the wicked witch of the West to go out and do Ethan's bidding. That's how Douglas Ernst feels if you're criticizing him right now. So here you go. I thought this was kind of funny. I thought this would be fun to look at. Here's an old tweet from Douglas Ernst back on October 26th of 2020. And here's Conor McGregor from a famous press conference here. You've, I'm sure, seen this GIF before. But anyway, Doug said, "My general reaction to the drama merchants who pop up once or twice each year. Who the fuck is that guy?" Well, it turns out the drama merchant this time was your old friend, the comic book Hut. That's who. And there was no escaping this drama for you this time, it seems, sir. So, that's kind of where we are with this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think that, I don't know, is this going to have any long-term repercussions when it comes to CG? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But it's the hot topic of the day. Everyone's been talking about it. And if you did not understand what was happening beforehand, hopefully you leave this video with a better idea of what's going on. And, you know, I'm not telling anyone who to support or what to do. My personal opinion is that Douglas Ernst has presented himself one way in public, and he has acted in the opposite manner behind closed doors. That makes you a hypocrite. I'm not saying he's a horrible person. I don't know the guy, but that particular facet of his personality is unbecoming. It definitely doesn't make me want to support his books. Creators doing that kind of thing. So, you know, whatever. Maybe it's no big deal to you. That's fine too. But that's what's going on, and that's the big thing right now. I'm sure it won't last long. There's always something on the horizon. There's always a new scheme. There's always a new scam brewing. And maybe, just maybe, I'll cover the next one via camcorder for you, the viewer. And until then, everyone, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, I'll be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.